So, recently I've been looking for something like an MP3 player or a digital audio player, and to listen to my music offline because I thought that would be a cool device to have. I've been looking for more um, devices that decentralize your phone and replace a lot of what you can do on your phone with other devices. Stuff like cameras, music players, gaming devices, stuff like that. And so I found one of these digital audio players at Amazon that I was about to purchase. But then my dad said, we have, an old iPod laying around that you could just use. So he gave me this. This is an iPod Nano in a case, but it's an orange iPod Nano, 5th generation, 8 gigabytes. And I got these in-ear monitors, IEMs, to go along with this old iPod I found. I bought these really nice IEMs here. Let me show you. They have a really pretty design. I think they look beautiful, and they sound really good too. They have really clear and like bright highs, and also really good like vocal clarity. And they're only like $25. They're called Tongzu One Air 2. All that to say, yeah, I got this old iPod for my dad, and I plug it into my computer to start putting music on it. In fact, right now it has a Hearthstone Psycho song on there because that's my favorite album. But I put some music on there, and I noticed that there was a lot of stuff in the camera roll. So this iPod has a camera, and I backed up all the photos and the videos onto my computer. And it's all pretty old footage from our family, and so at one point, my mom walks in the room, and I show her, like, look at this footage, and we start watching some old videos that my mom had recorded of me on my first day of school when I was a really little kid. And my backpack was basically almost as big as me. That's how little I was, my first day of school. And in the moment with my mom in the room, I just kind of laughed while watching these videos of me as a young child. But if my mother was not in the room when I watched these videos, I think I would have cried. And I would have gotten a lot more emotional, because when I was watching these videos with my mom, inside I was feeling really just sad. It's this recorded memory of me when I was younger, and for some reason, it made me feel kind of uncomfortable. And I don't know exactly why, but I think it might have something to do with the passing of time, where, I'm looking at this younger version of me who was so much more full of energy. He's so much more silly than me. Just this innocent young child with, a lot of energy and optimism. And I think I get sad because I'm not that little kid anymore. You grow up, you'll never be that little kid that you used to be. And I think the passing of time just kind of makes me sad. Because one thing that my mom has said before, and I think a lot of people's parents, mothers probably, especially, have said something along the lines of, like, I wish you could just be that little kid again. I wish you could just be, like you when you were younger. Like, where did that kid go? And it's not in an insulting way, more of like in an endearing way, that she misses you when you were younger. she'll never have that version of you back because you're all grown up now. And I think it makes me sad because, I'll never be that kid again. But also, I think sometimes I wonder, like, am I making that version, that child version of me proud? And I just think, it's really eye-opening to, like, view yourself now through the lens of you as a child, to see, would younger version of you be proud of who you are right now? I think that's incredibly powerful. When I was a little bit younger, if I'd seen older videos of me, I would not want to watch them at all because I would be embarrassed about how silly I would be in these old videos of me. But now, it's not so much embarrassment, I just feel uncomfortable. I can't stand to watch these old videos of myself because I'll get too sad knowing that all this time has passed and I'll never be that kid again. It makes me sad. And I think that's why, memory is so powerful, that it can make us feel so deeply, and make us think so much. These recorded memories of you when you were a child, they're hard to watch because of the sadness they make us feel, that child isn't really here anymore. Like, that's me now, and I'm not the same. I think everyone still has, that childlike version of themselves within themselves, but it's not really the same. And in my last video, I talked a lot about this past summer before college that I enjoyed so much. It was genuinely the greatest time of my life, and I reminisce about it a lot. I think a lot about, all the time, the fun times that I had that summer with the people that I loved being around, and I replay all these moments in my head about all the things I did this summer, and it's crazy because it feels like I'm just remembering these things, but it's like I'm actually reliving them. The feeling that I get inside when I remember these things and go through it again in my head, it's so strong. It feels like I'm genuinely reliving it. And I think it's crazy how powerful memory can be, and your memories can be in that sense. A lot of times the memories that I have of this summer, they're really happy. Like they make me happy just thinking about them and how awesome this summer was. But at the same time, I do feel kind of sad that it's over. I wish it didn't end. I wish it didn't end, and I wish I was still around the people that I was with this summer, like all my friends and stuff, because it's hard not being able to see all these people you went to high school with every day. It's hard not being able to see them all the time in college because they all went different places, and I really miss them. But it is what it is, I guess. And it makes me sad. I'm happy when I think about these moments, but at the same time, I feel kind of great sadness that it's over. And I feel sad because I wish I could relive all of it again. That's how much this summer meant to me. But when I think about it, genuinely, something within me feels like I'm reliving these moments, like I'm there again for the first time, going through this summer again. And it's a beautiful feeling to be able to feel like you're in this moment again when you're not. And so last night, I was walking to go get ice cream on campus with my roommate, and I looked up at the moon, and I saw like one tiny star next to it. I was like, I haven't really paid attention to the stars in the sky in a while. So I was like, all right. I started looking around the sky. It's a clear night. There's not that many stars in the sky. Maybe a few around here and there. I really appreciated the stars that I did see, but it made me realize, like, you should really appreciate and take in what you have right now and appreciate the moments that you spend with people right now, so that later, in these people's absences, you can still feel some semblance of happiness. You know what I mean? Don't take anything for granted and appreciate everything right now, so that when those things are absent, you can still feel like maybe they're not actually, because of your memory. So I looked up at the sky and I was like, I really wish I appreciated the stars in the sky more, because they're beautiful if you really stop and look at them. And I was disappointed that you know, it was a clear night and I couldn't see the beauty of the sky. Made me realize, you know, maybe you should just slow down sometimes and appreciate like nature and the world around you and stuff. So yeah, that was something I just thought about last night. Appreciate everything around you. So even within its absence, when those things are gone, you won't feel completely sad, because you still have memories of them. You can still enjoy them for what they were. But no, I think memory is a very powerful thing in the way that it makes us feel, and all of the deep feelings it can make us feel. I think back to some of these summer nights that I experienced, and I think I just feel so deeply what I was, feeling that summer. I feel it again, and it's really like a mix of like happiness and sadness, but it makes me think a lot. That's about it. Just wanted to share something I had thought about over the past couple of days. So, yeah.